Recently, many of you, well, some of you, okay, one or two of you, have been asking me, hey Jeremy, how do you make such amazing gravel cycling videos? So today, I want to share 5 or 6 of my secrets about how to make engaging gravel bike videos. So my number one go-to piece of equipment is my GoPro Hero 11 Black with a vlog mod, which has the directional microphone, which really improves the audio quality of my videos. I've got it mounted on this GoPro tripod extension selfie stick, which I often have tucked onto my chest strap of my Camelback. So what I love about the GoPro is the image stabilization. With the Hypersmooth 5.0, the picture quality coming off of the GoPro 11 is spectacular. It's compact, it's waterproof, it's rugged, it's ideal for mountain bike and gravel bike video. The other thing I really love about the GoPro is the horizon stabilization. So regardless of how I'm holding this camera, the horizon is always going to be flat. I've got the GoPro set to film 4K at 30 frames per second. There are times where I wish I could shoot in 60 frames or maybe even 120 frames per second just for some of those really dramatic slow motion shots. The next GoPro that I get, I will make sure that it is capable of shooting in 60 frames or 120 frames per second. Okay, my second camera that I use for gravel biking videos is the Insta360 X4. Now, I've been using the Insta360 cameras for quite a few years. I see a lot of gravel bike riders or bike riders in general simply mounting the Insta360 onto a mount on their front handlebars, but I don't find that that provides enough variety. So I've always just mounted my Insta360 on the selfie stick. It makes occasionally for some challenging riding, but I think in the end on the selfie stick, I'm going to get the best variety of video images from this camera. What I love about the 360 is that all of the framing is done after you've come off your bike and you're sitting in front of your computer. It doesn't really matter where you're pointing this camera. You can get all sorts of amazing shots just by reframing on the computer. The thing that I love about the Insta360 as well is the image stabilization. It just makes for some really spectacular, smooth shots on the bike. And especially on gravel biking, sometimes getting those smooth, stable shots can be quite a challenge. And this is where the Insta360 really shines. You can get obviously a variety of different shots with the Insta360. I like being able to get some of the selfie shots. When I throw it over my shoulder, I can get what look like some drone shots following me on the bike. I really find the Insta360 is great when you're riding through amazing scenery and you want to capture yourself immersed within that scenery. This is where this camera really comes in handy. Okay, the next camera that I want to talk about is the DJI Osmo Pocket 2. This is a little camera on a gimbal, so it provides just beautifully buttery smooth B-roll shots. Oftentimes when I'm using this, I'm off the bike. When I want to talk to someone midway through the bike, whether we're at a coffee stop or exploring the scenery or even post-ride commentary. This is a great little camera. The audio quality is pretty spectacular. It does actually come with a little remote mic that I've never actually used, but I've never found that I had to use it. The DJI Osmo Pocket 2 is a great little camera for some of those stunning B-roll shots. You can get some nice boom effects using this little camera while you're on your gravel bike rides. The next camera that I want to talk about is the Sony ZV-1. This is an amazing compact camera that provides pretty spectacular cinematic shots. It has a very narrow depth of field. I can turn this down to f1.8, which provides me with a really shallow depth of field, which again provides me with some of those really stunning cinematic shots. I usually use this on a little tripod. I'll put it down on the ground. I love the fact that this camera has a folding flip screen, which allows me to really see what it is that I'm trying to video, which can be challenging when you've got this sitting on the ground on this tiny little tripod. But it's very compact, and again, the image quality from this camera is really pretty spectacular. The other thing I really love about this camera is the sensor. It has a pretty large sensor given the size of the camera, which means in low light situations, the picture quality is still pretty amazing. Maybe one of my favorite pieces of video equipment is my drone. I'm currently using the DJI Air 2S, which provides amazing video. It's got a 3-point gimbal. It shoots in 4K. Again, I'm shooting in 30 frames per second. I probably could shoot in 60 frames per second if I wanted to get some of those slow motion shots. But for capturing some of the environment we're riding in, this piece of equipment is just amazing. Occasionally I'm able to use it to follow me on the bike. Those situations, given that we're riding in British Columbia, we're usually surrounded by trees, so using the active track on the Air 2S isn't always ideal, and I don't always risk using that function to get video shots. More often than not, I'll tell poor old Catherine to head off on her own, and I'll put the drone up and I'll pilot the drone and just get some shots of her. But the DJI Air 2S really is one of my favorite pieces of video equipment, and I think provides some of the greatest shots in my videos. And finally, the camera that I find I'm using more often is my iPhone 15 Pro Max. I have just found this to be an amazing piece of video equipment. I'm often setting it in the cinematic setting, which again provides a fairly narrow depth of field to give me some of those more immersive, more impactful shots of Catherine riding through some of these amazing, beautiful environments that we have the privilege of riding in British Columbia. The only thing that I don't love about the iPhone video is if the wind is blowing, that often has quite a profound impact on the sound quality of the video that I'm shooting. But aside from that, the iPhone is an amazing piece of equipment. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that video. If you have questions, please leave a question in the comment section. And until we ride again, take care. Thanks for watching.